News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KVNU.
It is now 5:05 on this Friday, the weekend officially here. I'm Will Feelright with your KVNU local headlines. Check that weather forecast coming up in just a minute. Well, local emergency crews responded earlier this week to a lightning-struck tree that continued to smolder long after the initial strike in Manaway. Now, firefighters from the Manaway Fire Department and the Box Elder County Fire District arrived to find that while visible flames were entirely gone, the fire was still actively burning deep inside the tree's trunk and complex root system. Now, officials warn that these types of hidden hotspots can create a significant risk of reignition if left untreated. Now, to secure the area, crews carefully dug around the base of the tree to expose the underground fire. Firefighters then extinguished the remaining pockets of heat before safely clearing the scene. Now, the Manaway Fire Department emphasized that eliminating hidden heat is a critical component of preventing dangerous rekindles, noting that much of their work often happens long after open flames disappear. In other news, 2 people hospitalized early this morning after a small airplane crashed in Layton. Now, the aircraft went down shortly before midnight, according to Layton fire officials. Now, both the pilot and passenger managed to exit the plane independently before emergency crews arrived. Now, both individuals were transported to local area hospitals and are reported to be now in stable condition. Now, first responders say they successfully contained a minor fuel spill, and officials noted that there was no post-crash fire or ongoing safety threat to the surrounding community. Now, the cause of that crash, though, remains under investigation. Investigators with the Federal Aviation Administration and National Transportation Safety Board are going to be investigating the cause of that crash. Of course, yesterday morning we had a similar plane crash, not as serious, a plane going down west of Smithfield as a Utah State University pilot plane crash landed in that field. Well, a Salt Lake City man was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison this week without parole for sexually exploiting 2 children and illegally re-entering the United States. Eric Santana Garcia was also ordered to serve a lifetime of supervised release. Now, he was convicted of transporting a child across state lines with the intent to engage in illegal sexual activity, possessing child pornography, and illegal reentry after deportation. Now, according to court documents, Santana Garcia had fled Utah with the child back in November of 2024, intending to travel to New York. Now, law enforcement intercepted him 2 days later in Missouri following his arrest. Department of Homeland Security investigators say they also uncovered child pornography depicting a second victim on his mobile phone. Now, federal prosecutors in Missouri noted that Santana Garcia had been deported multiple times prior to the offenses. Most recently was in March 2019. Well, we've got hot weather ahead of us this weekend as temperatures are going to be into the triple digits both Saturday and Sunday, looking at the possibility of highs around 102 after we were in the high 90s today. And then it looks like temperatures will start to drop a little bit on Monday as we'll get back into the mid-90s. Now, overall, we'll see mostly clear, sunny skies, hot temperatures, but with these hot temperatures, of course, comes the possibility of some isolated monsoonal storms that will pass through the area each afternoon. And weather this hour brought to you by Logan Extermination. If you think you're feeling the heat, imagine how your lawn is feeling. That's why Logan Extermination's summer back to green treatment can really help your grass bounce back from summer stress. Give them a call at 752-8450 for Logan Extermination. And KVNU News Time is now 5:08, and it's time for KVNU's For the People show, and it's the movie show coming up next with Andy Morgan and Jason Williams. You're on KVNU.
My friend John Hansen at the Duct Hunter has constantly educated you about the need for ductwork cleaning in your home. But what about your cabin or summer home outside the valley? You need that home's ductwork cleaned too. With high pollen counts in the mountains, dust always in the wind, and road construction ever present, the old adage of out of sight, out of mind is bad. Give the Duct Hunter a call at 770-4813 to clean out those dirty ducts in your summer home.
We are the Duct Hunter. Breathe better, save money, protect your home.
Covering all the news. Stay with 610 AM and 102.1 FM. News Talk KVNU.
Who do you turn to if you want to change out your wood or pellet stove? Advanced Fireplace and Stove. They were voted the gold medalist for Best of Northern Utah for the 6th year in a row in the fireplace retrofit category. Be ready when the government's next wood and pellet replacement incentives pop up. Advanced Fireplace and Stove can help you navigate the paperwork. For more information, call Advanced Fireplace and Stove, the 6-time Best of Northern Utah gold medalist. 752-7272. Online at advancedfireplaceandstove.com. Keeping your lawn green doesn't mean using more water. Anderson Seed and Garden has the smart solutions to help your lawn and plants beat this summer heat. Products like Humic, Hydrotain, and Back to Green improve your soil, help it hold moisture, and can even reduce watering needs by up to 50% while keeping your lawn healthy and vibrant. Let the experts help you grow a greener lawn with less water. Anderson Seed and Garden, a 7-time Best of Northern Utah winner. Online at andersonseedandgarden.com.
This is Ryan at My Mattress. When I started this company almost 20 years ago, I knew I needed the best vendors as partners. I had a goal to get Tempur-Pedic, IntelliBed Purple, and Sealy Posturepedic, since they were by all accounts the best. As many of you know, these brands have been my partners for many years now. Add that to our 90-day sleep guarantee, our 90-day price guarantee, and that's why we're the #1 mattress company in Northern Utah. Thank you, Cache Valley. Isn't it time to sleep exceptionally? Only at My Mattress.
Looking for a place where everybody belongs? At High Output Wrestling Academy, they help athletes of every shape, size, and skill level maximize their potential while having fun. From beginner to advanced classes, you'll receive personalized coaching, skill tracking, and feedback to help you improve every step of the way. Ready to give it a shot? Your first class is free. Plus, you'll have the opportunity to compete in tournaments and measure your growth. Find out more at HOWAWrestling.org and discover where your child can thrive at High Output Wrestling Academy.
Come join us at the Wrestling Academy. It's awesome.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People movie show. Hour 2 of today's show, continuing on with the movie show. Started a bit early this week. Spiderman, A Brand New Day, the big opening film this weekend. As you heard from Andy in the latter half of Hour 1, this is worth your time. No surprise there, really, as these movies have been pretty popular and pretty consistent. But during the break, we were talking about the box office, and I think listeners would appreciate your observations, Andy, about you have these movies like Toy Story 5 doing great, but Disney's Moana doing meh. Minions and Monsters doing exactly what you'd expect, making money, but it's not. Nobody's going to even remember this movie happened. But then you have Obsession,
right?
You have the Backrooms. These kind of sleeper hits that are going to be memorable.
I mean, if you look at the top 10 movies so far domestically.
Right now, Odyssey's the top right now, right?
It was the top last week in the box office.
Last weekend,
but Toy Story 5 is the only Toy Story and the Super Mario Galaxy movie and Devil Wears Prada. So 3 out of 10, 30% of the highest grossing movies domestically this year are sequels. Everything else is a standalone original. You know what I mean? I mean, you go down the list more. You've got Minions and Monsters, Scream 7. But here's the crazy thing, and this just still blows me away. Is right now you've got the Supergirl, which I thought was great, is literally at $70 million. 70,
really,
since June. And it's the same thing with then you got Moana that's been out a couple weeks, and that's at $90 million. That's it, $90 million. I'm telling you right now, you go back in time 6, 7, 8 years, that's the kind of movie that makes $250 million, $300 million, And I honestly think that's probably what most studio executives that would greenlight these projects would say. They would say, oh, I bet Supergirl makes this. I bet, Moana makes this. These are sure bets. Like, these are not something where you're, you know what I mean? This isn't like, And this is what I go back to, is anyone right now who is looking at box office numbers and prognosticating anything about it, just doesn't know what they're talking about. And it's not their fault because we just live in such a weird time right now. We talked about this last week. People, you and I have sat and watched reels for 2.5 hours on my phone.
Yeah.
You've got YouTube, you've got all types of streaming platforms, TikTok and Instagram, which are huge uses. And then everything streaming, and then the theaters. And we live in an age right now where people would much rather stay home, watch something on their phone, on their TV, on their device, and you've really got...
Unless they're properly incentivized.
Yeah, you've got to generate some buzz. So if you're going to get more people into the theater. We talked about this last week too, with the whole discount, right? One of the highest days of the week across the country is a Tuesday discount day. I mean, you see it in the numbers. The revenue goes up.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday. So it's the biggest day, of the weekend. So to me, if I'm a theater owner and I'm running a theater, my question to myself is, okay, guys, could we get a leg up on the competition if we did some analysis and said, okay, let's drop our movie price, our ticket to this.
Even going down to $10,
or just what if we
at least as a trial, see what happens.
What if we took our concession prices down $1?
Yeah, what if it was $9 for a bucket of popcorn?
Yeah, so
instead was $7.
There's a lot of those. So instead of just doing one day a week, right? What else could you do to bring more people in? I'm not saying it would work. I really don't. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe people don't care the difference between $7 popcorn and $9 popcorn, but try it.
Yeah, no, I really truly think that I just think you not making assumptions, but making conclusions about the box office post-COVID is a very difficult thing to do. And honestly, I don't think it'll ever be right again.
No.
Unless streaming just dies. Right.
We could do a whole show on that one day because Netflix is struggling right now.
That's what they asked me for my password when I changed rooms. They're like, hey, looks like you're traveling. Yes, I did travel downstairs.
From room to room.
Looks like you're traveling.
Traveling. Oh, by the way, service is going up $1 again. I think
Apple is doing the same thing with their family package, their one plan. $2 increase.
I think that's the mistake they're making, is just being jerks. But let's keep this conversation going because it's interesting, and it also applies to looking ahead to the rest of this summer and year. It's the For the People movie show with Andy Morgan, and we'll be back right after this.
When something goes wrong at your home, you want someone you can trust, not a stranger from out of town. Canyon Plumbing and Heating has been Cache Valley's locally owned plumber since 2005. Our licensed technicians show up fast, treat your home with respect, and give you honest answers. From Preston to Avon and everywhere in between, we're your neighbors, and we're here to help. Call Canyon Plumbing and Heating at 435-881-6952 because home should always feel like home.
The Murdoch Auto Team has been part of Utah's automotive fabric for over 100 years, a century of building a name you can trust.
And it's been a privilege for the Murdoch family to grow alongside this community. We are so proud to have served our friends and neighbors for generations.
Now we're carrying that same commitment forward as we head to a new horizon, driving together into a bigger, brighter future.
You've got to come and see us at any of our 10 locations across the Wasatch Front or online at MurdochAutoTeam.com.
Oh, we live in a great area. Are you just back from a camping trip? Don't take your sleeping bags to the dry cleaner. Come to Mount Logan Laundry. For just a few quarters, our 55 or 80-pound washers and 80-pound dryers will have those bags clean for your next trip. Mount Logan Laundry has free Wi-Fi and drop-off service. Plus, they're open until midnight. Mount Logan Laundry really is the cleanest spot in town. Find them at 5th East and 9th North in Logan, or in Brigham City on the corner of 1st East and 7th South. Mount Logan Laundry.
There's just something about Bear Lake. The sparkling blue water, raspberry shakes, the way everyone seems to leave their worries behind. It's the kind of place where families reconnect. And once a year, it all comes together for the biggest celebration of the summer, Raspberry Days, August 6th through the 8th. Come to Bear Lake for 3 days of fun and entertainment for every age. If you've never experienced Raspberry Days, this is your year. And if you have, you already know why everyone keeps coming back. See the schedule of events at bearlake.org. Raspberry Days, August 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Intermountain Budge ENT Clinic has an experienced and caring team of physicians and staff to assist you with all of your ear, nose, and throat concerns, including head and neck surgery. Doctors Kaiser and Wilson and their staff at Intermountain Budge ENT Clinic will work together to provide excellent care and support throughout the entire surgery process, from your pre-op visit to your full recovery. And they accept all insurance. For more information about Doctors Kaiser or Wilson, search Budge Clinic ENT or call 435-716-1420. Local care with Intermountain expertise.
Got metal? Turn it into cash fast. At Valley Recycling, we pay cash on the spot for aluminum, copper, steel, any metal you've got. Old appliances, scrap from a job site, cans you've collected. If it's metal, we're buying. No hassle, no waiting. Just pull up, drop off, and get cash. So clean up the garage, yard, barn, or shed and bring us your scrap metal. We're Valley Recycling at 145 North 10th West in Logan and valleyrecycling.com.
One mountain, one challenge, one epic finish. Are you tough enough to battle the Beeve? On Saturday, September 12th, conquer Beaver Mountain on a 4.75-mile climb that'll push your strength, endurance, and determination to the limit. The Little Beeve Run for kids 12 and under starts at 9:30 with the main event beginning at 10 a.m. Space is limited, so register today at raceentry.com. That's raceentry.com. Winner will receive a season pass to Beaver Mountain Ski Resort. Battle the Beeve, September 12th at Beaver Mountain. Can you beat the Beeve?
The Above and Beyond Salute.
Hello. Travis, somebody spilled the beans on something you did several weeks ago. It involved a lost dog.
Yeah, when we were working and we saw it running in the middle of the highway over by Ridgeline High School.
Yeah.
And we chased it and we put it in our truck and called the animal control. And while I was on the phone with them, they said, hey, I think we actually have the owner on the other line. And
no
then they
way.
connected and we went and dropped him off in Nibley. And
awesome. Well, when we heard about that, we're like, you know what? That deserves free lunch. And
well, thank you. That's awesome.
The Above and Beyond Salute on News Talk KVNU.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People show with Andy Morgan of AndyAtTheMovies.com. We've been talking about the box office, and Andy and I have been kind of mentioning what the box office now kind of says about the future, and then in the middle of all this, all these trailers drop. And so if you look at the box office to date this year and what's made money and what hasn't, or made a lot of noteworthy money and what hasn't, and then you look at the trailers coming out, this is stacking up to be, I mean, not 2018, but a pretty big year for movies.
Yeah, I mean, and again, this is where it gets funky, right? Is because right now, so far in 2026, there's been 420 releases. If we extrapolate that out, we're probably in the 800 range by the end of the year.
Sure.
So that's more than the last 2 years. I would assume, right, that we should beat last year's box office, even though we haven't had. There's been some disappointments like Supergirl we talked about or Moana, but there's a lot of stuff.
I want to mention this. When I look at Box Office Mojo, I realize there are these perceived failures in there as well. Box Office Mojo right now has matchups where they compare similar movies that came out in different years. Bohemian Rhapsody's 90-day total, 90 days after opening, was $206 million. Michael, which was kind of just came and went. Nobody talked about it really other than people who said they didn't want to see it. $372 million in 90 days.
Yeah. No,
so that's just an example that like movies were making money this year.
Yeah, I don't think, you're looking year over year, I don't think we're going to get back to what I'd say 2018, 2019, like those years where you're looking at almost $12 billion. In domestic box office receipts. So, and the other thing too is we talk a lot about domestic just because America is such a movie-going country, but this is changing worldwide, and really truly, if we're being honest, we can't really look at a movie's success or failure just domestically. It does tend to.
The studios aren't, right?
Yeah, it does tend to be the same. But like, here's an example. If you look at worldwide for Moana, if you just looked at domestic, you'd be like, wow, this is a complete flop, right? But it's actually at 187 million, worldwide. So worldwide tickets count. Obviously, it's money. Yeah. Supergirl, again, 121 million. So some of these won't make their money back, but it's not as dire as it might seem.
Supergirl surprises me. That is one of my favorites of the year.
Yeah, I liked it.
It was just a really fun movie.
And this is what you're going to see, right? We know how this works. In, a year, 2 years, probably more like 2 years, somebody's going to get on TikTok or Instagram and they're going to be like, hey, guys, you know what movie didn't do well, but it's actually really, really good?
Yeah.
Supergirl. And then it's viral, and everyone's like, hey, let's go watch Supergirl. And they're like, well, why didn't this do good?
Yeah.
That's the kind of conversations we're going to have.
There's so many examples. The Nice Guys.
Yeah, nice.
I'm hoping for the cult following to pop up around The Fall Guy. That was so funny.
Again, didn't make any sense why that should not be.
It was hilarious.
It doesn't need to be the highest grossing movie all the time, but these are clear box office. Like, these are bets.
Should have made a lot of money.
These are bets that I would make with my own money if I was fronting money for a movie.
Yeah. Do you think the volatility of that right now is causing more risk adverse decisions?
I think with some franchises, I'll say this, and this is actually a good segue. I'll post these later, but Jason, you mentioned there's a ton of trailers. I'll throw a trailer roundup and put it on Andy at the Movies later tonight.
Will you throw up some video of you watching the Other Mommy?
Yeah, I will. That's
Other Mommy trailer.
But the big trailer, the trailer that caused the most buzz besides Other Mommy this week was the Avengers Doomsday first trailer.
Yeah,
popped up. This is a movie coming out in December, so this is not like a year away or 2 years. I actually think it's a very smart marketing strategy to just hold on as long as possible and build some, enthusiasm.
It's creating something.
I think the real future of like Star Wars and Marvel and all those type of things will come down to this Avengers Doomsday and to see how well or poor it does. If it performs, there might be some hard decisions.
What do you think underperforming would be for Marvel?
On this one, I mean, you'd be looking at like a worldwide gross of like 600,000.
Okay, that's actually like for underperforming. That's not actually exactly bad, but yeah, I guess you're right. For Marvel, that's. I don't know. There's kind of a lot of wiggle room there between success and underperforming. We got to take a news break here in a second. For listeners out there, again, we talked about it in hour one already, but Spiderman: Brand New Day is the big opening film this weekend. And as Andy mentioned, also in hour one, if you have seen that or looking for something else to watch, Masters of the Universe from earlier this summer has hit Amazon Prime, and this is up there. As I mentioned, Supergirl, one of the most fun movies I've seen this year. I have these different categories. We should do a whole show on this one day. I have these different categories of movie rankings. There's super fun movies. There's my favorite movie of the year, scariest movie of the year, just all around best movie of the year. Supergirl and Masters of the Universe here in 2026. The two times that I remember very, very memorably just having a lot of fun watching a movie. And it is on Prime now, so if you haven't seen that. We should mention this as well while we're talking about trailers. This is a long ways off. This is coming out in 2027, but 90s kids, people who grew up and remember those afternoon after-school cartoons like Thundercats and Voltron. Voltron is going to be a movie. This was kind of a trailer that dropped this week, kind of just a little teaser with some Voltron imagery and a cast list. But, 2027, no official release date other than the year. But the live-action Voltron starring Chris Hemsworth, Tom Holland in a bit role, a really, really bit role from what I see. Henry Cavill as King Alfor, Rita Ora, Nathan Jones. Got some pretty big names in this, and it is officially going to be a real thing. And what's funny about this is this has been an internet rumor / scam for these fake trailers have been released for years and years and years on this Voltron movie, new trailer drops, all of this stuff. So when the trailer dropped, here's the funny part: everybody thought it was fake. But no, this is a real thing, confirmed by Discussing Film and Movie Web. It is going to be put out there by Amazon MGM Studios. Their big hit this year so far is The Sheep Detectives, and it's going to follow some of the plots of the original series. So it's real. Voltron is going to be a movie. The movie show continues right after this. Look at the news with KVNU's Will Feel Right.
Well, thank you, Jason. A 50-year-old man was arrested on Wednesday after allegedly strangling a woman, kidnapping an infant, and demanding a $6,000 ransom 3 weeks later. Now, Renan A. Alvarez was booked into the Cache County Jail on suspicion of aggravated kidnapping, aggravated assault, and other charges following his arrest in Logan. Now, police said that Alvarez became frustrated while working at a home back on July 8th before strangling a woman who had attempted to calm him. Now, after smashing her phone as she dialed 911, Alvarez fled the residence in his vehicle with the infant in his arms, driving through a closed garage door. Now, earlier this week on Wednesday, the victim contacted police stating that Alvarez was texting her sister demanding $6,000 for the child's return. Now, officers monitored a meeting in Logan where the exchange took place and immediately apprehended Alvarez. Now, Alvarez made his first initial appearance before a judge today where the charges against him were read. He was ordered to remain in jail through the weekend and appear again in court on Monday after he said he plans to hire an attorney. Well, the Bank of Utah has released its Week 3 clues for its fourth annual Where's the Wallet treasure hunt, which features a $10,000 cash grand prize. Now, in addition to the individual cash prize, the bank is also donating $10,000 to a Utah-based charity of the winner's choice. Now, the latest riddles, including a bonus clue directing hunters to follow the big cats, were released after a participant found a hidden side quest piggy bank in Tremonton, winning a resort getaway. Now, the annual contest requires participants to be 18 and older. Now, bank officials noted that the wallet is hidden on public property and strict safety rules apply, meaning that you should not have to climb, dig, or bushwhack in order to find the wallet. Now, the bank says it will immediately notify the public once that wallet is found. And finally, the Utah Department of Alcoholic Beverage Services has recognized an off-duty state trooper for his quick actions in halting a gunman during a shooting that happened earlier this year at a state liquor store in Taylorsville. Now, Sergeant Jeremy Matthews was credited with protecting employees and customers during the February 26th incident. Now, according to prosecutors, the suspect, Tyler Mahaka, had followed another man into the store after a suspected road rage confrontation and opened fire, striking the victim multiple times. Now, Matthews, who was inside the store at the time, returned fire and wounded Mahaka. He then pursued the suspect into the parking lot, detained him, and called 911. Now, both the victim and Mahaka survived the shooting. Salt Lake County District Attorney's Office investigated the incident and determined that Matthews' use of deadly force was legally justified. Well, we've got more hot weather coming this weekend as temperatures have been in the high 90s today, and now tomorrow and Sunday we'll see temperatures in the triple digits, around 102 for Saturday and Sunday. It's going to remain sunny and hot through the weekend. Then a little cooler weather coming on Monday as we'll see temperatures settle back into the mid-90s for our high. But overall, we're going to continue to see mostly clear skies, hot temperatures, no real major storms in the forecast, but we could see some isolated monsoonal storms pass through the area over the next several afternoons. And weather this hour is brought to you by the Lawn Doctor. If you're noticing weeds and grass starting to compete for space in your lawn like dandelions, thistle, morning glory, that's why you need to have the Lawn Doctor come out and apply their pre-emergent and weed control system. It's the Lawn Doctor. Get more information by visiting their website, lawndoctor.com. And for KVNU News, I'm Will Feelright.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. An unprecedented border crisis has erupted in Spanish territory. About 60,000 migrants entered the area from Morocco, with at least 57 of them dying during their attempt to cross. Tens of thousands have reportedly already returned. Some are reluctant to leave.
I want to, but your people don't want us.
Spain sending in military platoons and a Navy vessel to restore order. The Justice Department has moved to dismiss the criminal case against David Hearn, the ex-Olympian charged with damaging the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro now saying that additional documents provided indicate that the peeling liner was the result of flawed installation by the contractor. 2 U.S. officials say President Trump is weighing a round of intense strikes on energy targets in Iran that could begin as soon as this weekend. And another source says the potential strikes had been discussed with Israeli officials. This is ABC News.
Did you know you can cut your Rocky Mountain power bill by 40 to 50% without a single solar panel? With the new time of use rates, power is 4.5 times more expensive in the evening, but cheap during the day. At Greenbox Solar, we install smart home batteries that charge up when electricity is cheap, then power your home during peak hours. Solar is totally optional and can be added in the future, but savings are guaranteed. Drop by Greenbox Solar's showroom in South Logan to see the hardware for yourself. Visit our website at poweredbygreenbox.com.
Some sounds just belong together. The roar of the rodeo crowd, the rumble of a hard-working truck, and the biggest truck sale of the year. It's time for West Motor Company's Rodeo Day sale. Save up to $18,000 on select Ram half-tons and up to $13,000 on select heavy duties. Or drive home a new Ford with 0% financing for 36 months, plus $1,000 toward your first payment. Every qualifying purchase includes rodeo tickets and rodeo jackets while supplies last. The biggest savings of the year are now during Rodeo Days at West Motor Company in Preston.
West Motor Company.
Northern Utah, this is attorney Jace Allen, and thank you for voting the Allies Law Firm Gold winner in 5 categories of the best of Northern Utah, including estate planning, family law, criminal defense, personal injury, and best law firm overall. Whether you need help protecting your family, navigating divorce, defending your rights, or pursuing justice after an injury, our team is here to help. From all of us at the Allies Law Firm, thank you for your support and your vote. The Allies Law Firm. We plan, we fight, you win.
It's time for Bank of Utah's Where's the Wallet Cash Quest. They've hidden a wallet with $20,000 somewhere in Utah. Find it, and $10,000 is yours to keep. The other half goes to a charity of your choice. Clues can be found at bankofutah.com and on social media. Watch for new clues each week. Find the wallet, win $10,000, and help a Utah charity. Start your quest at Bank of Utah today. Bank of Utah, member FDIC.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People movie show. You heard me.
The other day you were driving down Main Street and we didn't know it was each other, and I was shaking my fist at you. No, I'm just kidding.
I said,
that was someone else.
Go back to where you're from.
Sorry, Mayor. Sorry, Mr. Mayor. Just kidding.
I honestly have an irrational anxiety about that. So I'm a pretty calm driver, but when and even when I get upset, I'm calm. I've gestured at other drivers before when they've deserved it.
What does that mean?
But the gesture I like to use is not the one everybody usually goes to. This is my favorite one to do. If somebody irritates me, I like to look at them for a second and then condescendingly shake my head like a disappointed parent would. It's my favorite thing to do. I had an uncle too that when people would give him the bird, he would just wave like he misunderstood their intentions. He would just wave at them and say hi, and they'd get so mad. It's childish, I know, but I'm pretty calm about all this. But I have this fear that one day I'll lose it for just a second and I won't be calm, and and it'll be somebody that's coming into the studio later on that day for an interview,
or worse, you'll open up member. Instagram and they'll have that guy Tizzy ENT.
And
he'll be like,
there I am.
He'll be like, hey, Logan, Utah,
find this guy.
Quick question. Tell me who this is.
That's my fear. If I ever crash out in public, that it's going to be.
Tell me who this is. All of a sudden, you're getting they're like, hey, Jason, we've had some phone calls.
That is right.
Apparently, you're going viral.
And all I'll be able to say is they were in the wrong lane.
Well, remember that happened to one of the classic ones I've seen in Utah, of late is the Salt Lake Tribune's political reporter, Brian. Is it Brian Schott?
I forgot about this.
Yeah, remember... maybe it wasn't him. Then there's the other senator, Nate Blowen, if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
But there was like
somebody for Congress.
Yeah, somebody was saying something with there was like it was like a kid at like a drag show or something like that.
Oh yeah, and he said kids got moves.
Kids got moves, and then
people were so
the
mad.
libs of TikTok or whatever retweeted
him.
it. Yeah, and then it just went.
He was right though. The kid was a talented dancer.
He was,
and sometimes
they were like, "Look at this! This guy supports whatever child drag shows."
Yeah, they were calling him a pedophile.
Yeah, it was. Anyway,
It was wild.
You know how that goes. I mean,
just weird. Because he was right. The kid was a good dancer, and that was literally what he said. But since he was a state senator.
But that's how something like that.
Yeah.
They'd be like, you know what you just never want to find yourself on is you don't want to find yourself on Cache Valley Daily. If your mugshot's up there, you've gone down the wrong path.
A decision somewhere.
The wrong path.
Do you...
Hollywood actor.
I was going to say this has a natural segue into Hollywood and movies because is there a more forgiving industry? I was thinking about this the other day. The people who have been not just accused but confirmed to have perpetrated some heinous acts.
Right.
And then, I mean, I know Louis C.K. has a Netflix special. Like we said, okay.
And think about it. His is mild compared to like a Roman Polanski or a Woody Allen.
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, here's what I would say, and this is interesting because I was asking myself this the other day with the actor Armie Hammer. If you remember Armie Hammer.
That is such a weird story.
Well, he got his notoriety for playing the Winklevoss twins in The Social Network, and that came out in, 2010, 2011? And then think about this. Then he was, he was kind of the up-and-coming big guy in Hollywood. He was in the Lone Ranger movie.
Yeah. He was the brightest part of that movie.
Yeah, he was in Call Me By Your Name, like getting like awards consideration. Yeah. And then that went
meltdown
somewhere and no one ever thought, like cannibalism and all kinds of weird things.
I mean, there's definitely a mental health story behind that story. But yeah, some deserving of cancellation.
Yeah, I mean, he was in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. in 2015. I'm looking at this, Death on the Nile in 2022. I mean, definitely, kind of in that Hollywood's leading man.
So what leads to him getting deservedly canceled? But then you have so many others that.
Well, but here, this is what I was going to bring up. I'm so glad you kind of brought this up because all of a sudden there was it was like this reunion tour. I was Variety, our Hollywood Reporter. Yeah, that's what it is. Hollywood Reporter about a month ago, an article came out and it said Armie Hammer wants a second chance. I made these problems for myself, and it feels like and I think who pushes that? Is that just Hollywood Reporter wants a story, and Armie Hammer's PR team is just really pushing these stories or whatever. But here's the really bad thing though. He starts getting some okay press, right?
Yeah.
And then he's in a movie by this horrid director. Do you know the director Hugh Boll? You know this name.
Yeah.
Anyway,
using the word director loosely there.
Yeah, so Armie Hammer, and this is not me, by the way, feeling sorry for Armie Hammer, but he's so desperate to work that he works with this director, Hugh Boll, that nobody wants to work with.
Yeah.
And then this movie comes out called Citizen Vigilante.
Yeah.
Right? In fact, I'll just read you Slate's review. I haven't seen this. Said, a canceled star is back. His hateful new movie is one of the most disturbing things I've seen lately.
Oh, that's harsh.
Yeah. Anyway, and then he comes back, Armie Hammer, because he's like, dang it, my positive press is about to go south. And he's like, I did not know that this movie would be so hateful and disgusting. That was his quote.
Really?
And everyone in the world's like, how did you not know that? Anyway, and then
considering this guy's other ventures,
he said
I've only seen one of Bull's movies, and it was House of the Dead, an old, very low budget horror movie.
Well,
and it was
Yeah,
I'm all for low budget independent film, but this was just bad.
Yeah, this was his exact quote. He said, a source in Mr. Hammer's camp said that the actor broke down the first time he watched the finished film, a low-budget vigilante thriller from German director Ubol. He called me and said, "This is hateful and disgusting," the source said, adding that Mr. Hammer believed he had signed on to a different movie than the one Mr. Bull ultimately released. Like the time like Harrison Ford and Luke Skywalker, like, we thought that this was a drag racing movie set in the desert.
Like how,
in the 60s.
How did you think that?
No, like, this doesn't make any sense. He's like, no, actually what came out was Star Wars. I'm sorry about that.
That is...
Anyway, but yeah, he's like, I did not think this was a movie. Anyway, but then he said, he's like, I would have worked in a cat food commercial. I
get that if you're trying to make a comeback.
Yeah.
But you still have to like show some good judgment. Well, and Uwe Boll is probably
no. And my thing to you, this just goes back to your question that you originally said, like, how do people like? Is it a very forgiving? And what I think is it can be, but I think America just in general, maybe the world, I can only speak for where I live, is pretty forgiving. But what people like is people like someone to be honest. They like to take responsibility, and then that person has to realize that they may not be back for a while, that there's going to be a period of time where they may be disliked, and you just have to keep pressing forward. And a lot of times, folks are able to kind of make a comeback, but in Hollywood, I think the thing that the question that you and I originally had is, you know what? If we know these things about people, why do we want to keep working with them? The Roman Polanski and Woody Allen one really kind of bugs me.
Yeah,
to be honest,
Woody Allen surprises me because that literally is a story where someone is just so famous, no one dares cancel them for being a creep.
Yeah, and I think the other one that really hits me sometimes, you really have to you have to go far. I think you really do. Like, because there's plenty of jerks in Hollywood and they're not canceled. I mean, look at Hugh Grant. You know what I mean? Like, notorious jerk.
Was it Alec Baldwin that had a weird crash out?
Yeah, Alec Baldwin. Or Tom Holland, that poor little boy. Tom Hardy is notorious for people talking about that, he's not fun to work with.
Rude things he said.
Yeah, and so
threw a water bottle at a cab once in front of everybody.
That's not going to stop you. It's when you start getting into these personal things where, you're abusive, you're just really kind of just a gross human being, right?
The one that blows me away, I forget the director's name, but I kind of hate to tell this story because I'm still mad it ruined the original for me. No, but the director of Jeepers Creepers, which is the original is great. The sequel's not so much, but yeah, apparently he's kind of a weirdo. And you learn those stories. It can, ruin a whole franchise for you, but, I don't know. I feel like expelling people from Hollywood should be both easy and quicker than it seems to be sometimes. All right. Quick break here, and then more of the For the People movie show with Andy Morgan of Andy at themovies.com right after this.
News Talk 610 AM, 102.1 FM, KVNU.
Hey Utah, have you heard? Nuclear energy might be coming to our state. Now, before your brain jumps straight into sci-fi movies, let's talk about what nuclear actually does. Nuclear technology helps power our nation's submarines, supports life-saving cancer treatments, and produces reliable electricity for millions of homes. That said, nuclear power also comes with a lot of misconceptions. Don't worry, we get it. Energy decisions matter, and Utahns deserve the facts. Learn more about nuclear and what it can mean for you. Visit energy.utah.gov/nuclear.
One mountain, one challenge, one epic finish. Are you tough enough to battle the Beeve? On Saturday, September 12th, conquer Beaver Mountain on a 4.75-mile climb that'll push your strength, endurance, and determination to the limit. The Little Beeve Run for for kids 12 and under starts at 9:30 with the main event beginning at 10 a.m. Space is limited, so register today at raceentry.com. That's raceentry.com. Winner will receive a season pass to Beaver Mountain Ski Resort. Battle the Beeve, September 12th at Beaver Mountain. Can you beat the Beeve?
Hey Cache Valley, get ready for the Cache County Fair and Rodeo August 5th through 8th in Logan. Come experience 4 exciting nights of PRCA rodeo action. Wednesday kicks off by honoring our Gold Star families. Thursday, wear your red, white, and blue as we celebrate 250 years of freedom. Friday, join us by wearing pink as we shine a light on cancer awareness. And Saturday, we wrap up with another patriotic night celebration. Join me, Marley Hall, your Cache County rodeo princess, and be part of one of Cache County's favorite summer traditions.
So come on out, let's have some fun at the Cache County Fair.
See you at the rodeo.
Logan, Ogden, stand by for details on how much it costs to borrow $1,000 from Dollar Loan Center. We offer signature loans up to $5,000 in minutes, and you don't need great credit or collateral. No checking account required, no application fees, and you only pay interest for the time you have the loan out. So if you need $1,000, it'll only cost you $7.56 per day. You can keep it out for a week, a month, a year. That's up to you. For new customers, the first week's interest is even on us. Give DLC a shot. You'll be glad you did. Stop by in Logan on US 89 by McDonald's or in Ogden on 12th at Lincoln. You can also get up to $5,000 in minutes at don'tbebroke.com and save the drive.
License by the Utah Department of Financial Institutions. Given amounts based on biweekly pay frequency with annual percentage rate of 275%. For additional cost information, call 866-550-4352. Subject to approval, limitations may apply.
Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org.
Hi, this is Gordon Deal. Monday on This Morning, America's First News, the latest from the Middle East, including the U.S. war with Iran and the agreement by Hamas in Gaza. Also, the pendulum appears to be swinging on the hiring front. Companies in tech and transportation now say they need more people to work alongside artificial intelligence. We'll explain the shift and why even today's blockbusters can't save Hollywood. Monday on This Morning, America's First News. Monday morning from 4 to 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102 FM.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People movie show. Andy Morgan of AndyAtTheMovies.com. You got a full 2 hours of movie show today. Happy Friday, everybody. What a way to go into the weekend. We had a chance to talk about the box office. The big opener this weekend, of course, Spiderman 4. That's what I'm calling it because it saves time and it's easier. Big question about this one is this the last one? As we discussed in hour one, as Andy reviewed the film, who knows, really? Marvel kind of playing things close to the vest and Spider-Man tied in with the Marvel Universe, even though it's a Sony property. So we don't really know. But back to the box office here as we wrap up the show today. Andy, you saw later than everybody else for some reason, shameful for a movie critic, you saw The Odyssey, and it is doing really well. Thoughts?
But the news that was kind of hilarious to me over the last couple of days is that Elon Musk was like, my AI platform
going to redo it.
Will recreate a historically accurate full-length Odyssey movie by the end of the year. Because remember, he was like, Elliot Page.
He said it was gonna tank.
Yeah,
now he's mad because it's making hundreds of millions, and he's gonna remake it with. But did you see with Mel Gibson?
Well, Mel doesn't have time for that because Mel had an interview this week. Him and Randall Wallace, his longtime collaborator on like screenplay side, they are the whatever the sequel to Passion of the Christ. I don't know what it is.
Oh, really?
I don't know if it's Passion of the Christ 2 or I think it's Resurrection of the Christ maybe.
I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah, well, they're doing it in two parts. They booted Jim Caviezel. He's not coming back.
That's another person who's kind of struggled, I think, with their public image.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and Mel Gibson. I mean, they're all
wacky.
Everyone that was in the Passion of the Christ it went south. No, but again, I'm pretty sure it's called the Resurrection of the Christ, and there part one comes out 2027, part 2 comes out 2028.
I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah, but it was interesting. That was an interesting.
So Mel Gibson doesn't have time to be in Elon Musk's The Odyssey remake.
No, and I want him to do it. I want it so bad.
I think it would be so funny. Honestly, and please put Mel Gibson. That would just make it even. Did you see one of my favorite?
What does that even mean? True to the art of Homer.
I've decided to embrace the ridiculousness of what social media has done to reactions to movies, hyper politicizing little aspects of them, but also, like we've talked about before, fans throwing temper tantrums about things they don't like or any change to the franchise, anything new, in a Star Wars movie or a Disney movie, live action. I've decided to embrace it and find it funny because I don't think it's going anywhere as long as social media incentivizes this type of thing. But in the nature of finding things funny, did you see? There's a pretty popular online commentarian named Matt Walsh, and
Matt Walsh.
I won't read you the whole post, but the first sentence of the post. And if you know anything about Homer's The Odyssey, this is so funny. What I didn't like about Nolan's movie is its non-linear storytelling style. And it's so funny.
Has he ever seen a movie or read a story?
Have you ever read The Odyssey? Homer is actually famous for inventing nonlinear narratives through The Odyssey. And it was one of the funniest. People just are reaching so hard to find something to be offended by or upset by.
And they're split down it, too, because Ben Shapiro, who is another conservative,
he liked it, right?
Right-wing influencer or whatever, he called it a masterpiece.
Yeah.
He gave it an 8.5 out of 9 on a 10-point scale.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, no, this is Ben Shapiro, who was part of that, like he said, I'm going to read a quote from it. He says, I know a lot of people were like, oh my goodness, Lupita Nyong'o is supposed to look like Diane Kruger. I don't know. Diane Kruger doesn't look very Greek. She's German. And he said Travis Scott as a bard was a bit jarring, but it's just a small part. And he said, all this stuff doesn't bother me. None of the casting choices doesn't change anything. He's like, it's an absolute masterpiece. And again, this is Ben Shapiro, not a guy that I would align.
He's pretty big in conservative circles.
Yeah. So I
saw one on the left that made me laugh too, which was someone going after Nolan for all the animal cruelty.
Oh.
And I kind of wanted to say, I mean, yeah, I agree. There some unnecessary puppy death, in my opinion, in that one scene, gratuitous even. The rest of the movie is it's quite violent. There's a lot of, and so
I actually think it's a very soft R-rated movie, to be honest.
Yeah, that actually, the violence is toned down a bit as far as its visual graphics, but it made me laugh. The idea of objecting to this violence over that violence. The overall point here that Andy and I are continuously trying to make is that social media has not been good in this space, and the same thing kind of happens in sports too, right? You see it, politics definitely, but I don't know. There's something to be said for rethinking the whole give everyone an equal-sized megaphone. It was a great idea in theoretically, even philosophically, but it hasn't played out so well. It's unfortunate because a lot of times this narrative does become dominant on social media, especially, and I hope it doesn't scare people away from seeing stuff that's actually really good. In fact, that would be my challenge to everyone. If you use social media, and if there's someone you read or enjoy interacting with, or one of these Twitter or Instagram celebrities, and they end up not liking a movie that you were interested in going to see, challenge yourself. Go see it anyway. Or vice versa. If someone is really pushing a movie but it's not interesting to you, don't go see it. Remain that independent thinker and critical thinker, because social media definitely, I think, muddies the waters a bit on this stuff. So the reaction online to Nolan's Odyssey compared to what the box office is saying about how in real life audiences are feeling about it, best example we've had in a long time. So, Andy, thank you for being with us for 2 full hours today. To our listeners, thank you for being here as well. That's our time for today. Coming up next week on For the People, we're going to be talking more about this big Cache Valley-wide September 11th service project. More details have emerged, and we'll talk about it Monday on For the People, but stick around. Dave Ramsey is next here on KVNU Logan.
The newsmakers, the stories.
This is a situation that is rapidly spinning out of control.
Get it all here.